answering, even putting out Facebook stuff, that kind of stuff that you do.
Dude, the fact that you had an intern was kind of like Kramerica Enterprises from Seinfeld.
I wish I could get that kind of intern that would really just follow me around. And she was cute too. She was.
Did you try to touch her? Did you try to touch her?
No. I keep that kind of stuff. I keep professional. But she was cute. She was actually from Germany. Very good-looking girl, smart, spoke a couple languages, and went. Was at NYU. So maybe my intern was too good for me.
Well, speaking of too good for us, headlining at Reno, Catch a Rising Star.
Don't
the
say
co-host.
Don't say his name.
I call him the heavyweight champion of the Comedy Point.
I will not be involved.
Joey Gay.
Joseph J. Gay, my buddy.
What's up, fellas?
Yo, guy.
Yo, let me tell you something. Number one, Rich Schultes definitely did try to touch that intern. That's why she's not around anymore. There's no, oh, yeah, she decided she didn't want to hang. Yeah, right. She's probably filing charges now.
As we speak. Hey, Joey, I told that story about the first time we did a show together on the road up there in Kingston.
When you showed up at my door with no pants?
Well, I don't know Joey Gay that well, but obviously...
No, he put on a shirt and showed up with no pants, so that when he knocked on the door, I looked out, he looked fine, I let him in, I turned around, I was like, what are you doing? Get out.
No, first I knocked on the door with no shirt on, and he just opened up the door, he goes, what the heck you doing here? So next time I do it, I put a shirt on, so when he looked out the peephole, it looked like I was all right. He opened up the door, and I walked in with no pants on.
Yeah.
Joey took it in stride. He was just smoking up a cigarette. He's just smoking a cigarette going, what are you doing, man? You can't come in my room with no pants on. You can't do it.
It's Joey. So it's funny because I think that story or one of the other ones when you did one of the Mayhem and Madness with Rich, I had heard you guys stayed at a Motel 8. Then I see the next week you're doing the Motel 8 bit. I'm like, oh, my goodness. Did this come from last weekend's Mayhem and Madness with Rich Schultes?
Well, I'm going to tell you something about this idiot Joseph Gay. We're doing a show. We're doing a show in Kingston, New York. The guy's setting us up at the Super 8. Not the greatest, but the great part is we drive into town and Joey Gay goes to me, Rich, I demand to be driven to a marginal hotel. So I pull into the Super 8. But the guy is setting us up. He gives Joey the suite at the Super 8.
Well, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
A suite in the Super 8 is just another room to try not to touch stuff in.
That being said, the guy sets us up. I have the small room. Joey has the suite. He comes up. He gets our autograph. Anything you want, you just let me know, blah, blah, blah. Joey Gay goes out that night and does a joke about what a shithole the Super 8 is. And apparently he gets back to the guy who owns the Super 8 while we're still there. I'm like, Joe. And I wasn't there when it happened. I had left. Joey did it, he was closing the show. I had to go to another show, and I was like, Joey, really? He goes, well, he wants to do it because he wants to put it off as he's an artist. He has to speak what's in his heart. Couldn't you just change the name of the hotel?
Is that small of a town?
Look,
got
all
back
that
to the
I
owner?
said was, even the bed bugs have the clap there. If that guy wants to have thin skin, it's up to him. To be honest, Rich, I didn't think it would get back to the guy, but, I didn't realize that Kingston is just a town of 12,000 inbred people waiting to run back to their king at the Super 8.
So when you going back to Kingston, Joe?
Not soon
I don't know. Soon, probably.
You'll never work that.
Me, Matty. I only know the gig I have now. Mm-hmm. I know where I need to be tonight. I'm in the building.
Oh, that sounds good, man. I mean, let's go right into it. What is tell us the temperature out there at Catch a Rising Star in Reno?
It's a balmy 65 degrees outside. It's beautiful. And I am a mess, though. I left the house at 4:30 this morning, flew out at 6:30. I sat between two women I wanted to choke, one of which was hammered. The other one was just rude, man. She took the whole bin above for her luggage, and one chick was hammered. The other chick, man, I said hello to them both, and they both ignored me. And then I had to sit in the middle of two people who didn't say hello back
for 4 hours. Oh.
Yeah, and I don't manage breaches of etiquette well.
or what you perceive as a breach of etiquette?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, on a plane, the only thing you have to say is hello. After that, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. I get it.
Now, did you pull an all-nighter last night and stay up and then so you could try to get some sleep on the plane, or did you go to sleep?
I most certainly did. I got about 4 hours on the plane to Phoenix and then maybe another half an hour on the way from Phoenix to Reno. Actually, I'm just heading up to the room to crash out for a couple of hours. It seems that I got some people popping up on me over here. I got some friends who moved to California from New York who are showing up in a couple of hours.
Oh, nice. So you have some fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. Yeah, it should be good time.
So now what do I hear about this? I hear you got an odd situation going out here. You're opening the show and headlining? Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
The opener is this guy who plays the piano and sings a little bit, and then I'm on. So there's no comedian on ahead of me this evening, which will be a first here. So I'll have to change my act a little bit. I can't run out and hit them over the head immediately. I'm going to have to romance them for a moment.
Right. Which isn't really your style with women and your comedy shows.
I'm a hell of a lot smoother with the women than I am the comedy shows, but that still does not make me smooth with the women.
I understand.
Now, just to give you an update of what's going on in the show, we had Mike Buschetti call in, a.k.a. Space Cookie.
You.
Yeah, well, not as good this week. We gave Rich the heads up of what we were doing. We just lambasted him with compliments, and we only got him up to 13.
Wow.
Yeah, I've had conversations with him when I wasn't even trying to get him to say thank you, where he said thank you way more than that.
Yeah.
But it was a good
segment.
segment.
That he listened to last week's show and he's hip to it.
Yeah, that could be it.
It's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Mike's not one of those guys who can't watch himself on TV or listen to his voice.
Right. Yeah, no, he did not disappoint, that's for sure.
It never does. Mike Buschetti, fantastically talented man.
And we got
In
your
fact,
boy Johnny
I'll go
Deluxe.
with
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, after you.
Your boy Johnny Deluxe hit us up, and I think we're going to try to have him on in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there was nothing more to that. That was just
Really? That was the back and forth, stepping all over each other while somebody was trying to say something, and that's what we have.
I love you, Joey.
I love you, Joel. I'm not so fond of Rich Schultes.
I knew that was coming.
Pantsless bandit.
How did the T-shirts work out in the suitcase? That's what I want to know.
Wow. Man, I was folding T-shirts like a half a homo at the Gap for hours. Hours. I probably have about 80 of them with me. I couldn't get all of them with me, but I have them here, and I am ready to sell some T-shirts.
Oh, what you do? Make some Joey Gay T-shirts? I did not know. Talk to me.
Yeah, I made T-shirts that said Rich Schultes is a transvestite.
You're a wise guy.
Apparently, it's a hot item. He had 15 already pre-sold before he even made them.
Really?
They come with a bedazzler.
And they are selling like wildfire.
Yeah. No, I made shirts that say 2 drinks away from a felony.
Oh, all right.
And drunkle. I took 2 things that I say in my act and made T-shirts for them because, as you know, when you're Joey Gay, you can't just put your name and face on a T-shirt and sell that.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
And if you do, the people who are buying are not buying it in the spirit you might like.
Well, I'm glad see, you're an entrepreneur now. Because
you can't even say
can't
it.
Say it.
Look at you. I'm an onomatopoeia.
Yeah. That's what you are.
You just chopped the hell out of that.
Yeah, entrepreneur. There it is, entrepreneur.
Look,
I just need a couple.
Chewing on that word like a stale hero.
Yeah, that's what That's why I do radio, Joseph Gay. That's where people. When I tell people that I'm on the radio for 2-3 hours, they're going, "Really? I've not had a conversation with you that's lasted 2 minutes that you haven't butchered the entire English language, and you're on the radio." That's what they listen in for, just to see how many words I mess up.
That's your thank you.
But that being said, I'm glad you're doing that, Joe. I think we've talked about this a while ago that you should be, because Joey has, in all kidding aside, one of my favorite comedians. Not just because he's a person, we've become very close in the last few years. We've bonded, but very funny guy, man. He always makes me laugh. And I just think after your act, people want more of the Joey Gay experience. So you giving them T-shirts or DVDs is the thing to do, man. I think it's a smart business
Rich,
move on your part.
I say this on the ledge of the roof of the Silver Legacy Hotel. I have followed your advice. What's happening there, boys? Did we speak to the people from FARC today?
We did. We
Yes.
did. A lot of funny stuff, and yeah, it was good, man.
Now, Joe, I know you know I'm going to ask. Did you get to watch Celebrity Apprentice the other night? Or yesterday?
No. Since you texted me, I have not been asleep or watched television.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
In order to get on the plane and pull everything off that I needed to, I stayed up. So I haven't had 5 minutes. When I get off the phone, I'm going to go up to the room, watch a little TV, and have a nap before the show.
Okay, so we'll get up with
I'll
that
get a
next
chance
week then.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing right now you're sitting there with a half-lit cigarette and a cup of coffee in your hand.
No such luck on either count.
Really?
I have to go upstairs to get the coffee, and you can't smoke in the lobby here. They have designated smoking areas. Even Reno is worried about smoking these days.
Oh, yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. I remember when it started spreading across country, you'd be in certain areas. I think the first place I was in California where you couldn't smoke, and then it slowly seeped into the fabric of America.
Well, it's maybe the only thing ever in American culture that we followed the Californians on.
No, I think right on red.
Yeah, we still don't do that in New York, though.
Yeah.
Oh, true
But
that.
Rich does it from time to time. And then some cop comes up to the window and he tries to call him an entrepreneur and he lets him go because he thinks he's retarded.
Now, I wanted to ask you, Joey, when you go on an airplane.
I love Joe. I just got to stop you. I just love Joel because no matter what's going on, you can see him sitting there and there's something buzzing around in his head. And when he decides to speak, it doesn't really matter.
I'm going to go with no segue here.
Right, it doesn't really matter what was being talked about for the last 5 minutes. Joel has a question for you, Joey Gay.
Joel has a question for me. The funny thing is, Joel's questions just pop up when he's uncomfortable with everything else going on. He watches everybody else in the studio, and you could see he's like totally uncomfortable, and then he's like, all right, I can take this in another direction.
Abruptly or non-abruptly, it's happening right now. Now, Joey, obviously you roll your own cigarettes now. Do you actually bring the stuff with you in the airport? Because I can see how that might cause maybe some trouble at the the claim area when you're getting checked.
I did bring it with me today, and I thought it might be weird. I thought they might ask me questions and check me out because, I had 2 packs of bamboo rolling papers and filters in a tin box and a bag of tobacco. I'm living like a millionaire railway hobo.
No, that's the thing. We're on the way to the studio. It was like a month ago, and all of a sudden you're mid-roll, and I just look back at you, making direct eye contact while I'm driving, and you're like, "No. This is tobacco, Joel. Don't worry." And just so you know, I never bring it with me in one of your cars to go to a show.
I never bring it out of the house. I smoke if I feel like smoking herb. I smoke it at home, at night, when I'm moisturizing.
You know what I love about Joey? Now, Joey Gay is actually one of the quintessential pot smokers. See, I said that word. I was waiting to say that word. But because there's no change in him. There's no change in his demeanor. Either that or you're high all the time. But he's one of those guys. I've been at his house where when I go to Joey Gay's house, our ritual is, I have a smoke and a cup of coffee. He makes me a cup of coffee. And, we sit around for a little bit, then he starts getting high, and nothing changes, man. He's the same dude. Doesn't get weird, doesn't get paranoid.
It's practice.
Well, let's face it, I'm weird to start with, fellas.
Correct. Well, that's right. I guess you don't
add weird. I'm sitting here watching Larry the Cable Guy on a screen, a little 20-inch flat screen, right next to the picture of me that says, "Go see Joey Gay at Catch a Rising Star." Last year, I forget, who was it? It was not Bill Maher. Daniel Tosh was here last year on Saturday night. This year, it is Larry the Cable Guy. I'm up against Larry the Cable Guy on Saturday night. It's a morons buffet. Anybody with an IQ of under 80, we have a show for you, and it's just a matter of whether you like rock and roll or country music. That will make the decision for you.
So you go, you're going up against him, and he's in a different club, or is he in the big theater?
He's in the big theater downstairs, so yeah, that should be great.
So you might get an overflow of his fans that can't get into his show.
Yeah, that's what I want. Angry rednecks. That's who really likes my comedy.
They're gonna
That's
be.
who's like, you know what I want? I want to see some surly Yankee boy who screams and curses.
I literally pray that that's what happens. That he gets like 100 Larry the Cable Guy fans at his show.
Scream and get her done at him the whole time he's on stage.
Yeah, Joey. If that happens, you got to do that. You got to scream, get her done.
No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do 10 minutes of Chips Cooney's magic.
I opened up for
him. They will be
him.
mesmerized. They won't know what to do. The man's Satan. He needs to be stopped.
I opened up for him the other night. It's funny you bring him up.
You opened up for Larry the Cable Guy?
No, Chips Cooney.
Yeah, no, I knew that. I just said it for comedic effect.
I understand. And I may believe I was confused by it.
You know the difference between
That's
Larry
teamwork.
the Cable Guy and Chips Cooney?
Chips Cooney is funny?
No, it's 40 years and $60 million. Difference between Larry the Cable Guy and Chips Cooney. Also, Chips Cooney knows Nick Cannon.
Very good.
I imagine that Chips Cooney did a magic trick that caused those blood clots in Nick Cannon's lungs. Nick Cannon would be fine if Chips Cooney was not on America's Got Talent last year.
Was he on America's Got Talent?
Yeah.
He really?
Not last summer, summer before.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's weird. They seem when any comedic act that goes on that goes anywhere is that kind of old
Go ahead,
fashioned.
badmouth him.
No.
Badmouth him. He's had it 50 years.
No. That old fashioned vaudevillian, I guess you would call it, type act.
What was that? Say that again.
I almost went into a spasm trying to say it the first time.
The word was vaudevillian.
And Rich had a stroke halfway.
Vaudevillian. It's like vaudevillian.
And I can see you. You got those little pieces of spit. You got those corners on, like you got 2 pieces of cottage cheese on your mouth, and a little something comes out every time you say vaudevillian. I want you to say vaudevillian entrepreneur 9 times.
Vaudevillian entrepreneur.
It
was like I was reading it out of a dictionary. You know what's incredible?
Yeah,
you know what's
that's what it was like, Rich.
You know
Boy,
what's
you were self-aware. I got to give you that.
yes. You know what's sad that I'm even in this business, that I can be in the middle of something like a great, fairly smart, intelligent, funny thought, and I can't complete it because I come upon a word that I just can't get out. Not only do I mess up the word, but it knocks my whole train of thought.
And you don't know a synonym of it as well.
Yeah, I don't even know what a synonym is. Don't you put that on toast?
That's jam.
Yeah.
All right, Joe's about to change the subject. Hold on, Joey.
I know. I can feel how uncomfortable
Could
he
you
is. right
could you
now.
could you feel him?
Up at us.
Yeah. No. He was not.
All Joel can think is synonym. Synonym.
I think that's all he heard. I think he just, because the thing is, he wasn't paying attention at all because it was going so good without him. He was in his computer. He must have got done texting or doing whatever he was doing, and he just looked up and looked at me, and his mouth started moving. I went, all right, well, it's going to go in a different direction. I don't know where we're going here, but Joe, I didn't, not to interrupt.
Hey, I tell you what, Schultes, what you should do is get in touch with your friend up in the Super 8 in Kingston,
Right.
and all of us will go up. We'll rent a couple of hotel rooms, and we'll do a show from there.
From the hotel?
And that'll solve the problem. We should do a remote show from the Super 8 in Kingston. That's the type of pull we got now, fellas.
We're hitting a big time.
Yeah, we're on location here with his paper gaskets for the toilet.
We'll never, you know, the thing is, we'll never get that suite again. Hey, the great part about the suite is the other half of the suite had no electricity to it.
That's
Shut
true.
up.
No,
Shut up.
Joey, am I
Shut
lying?
up.
They had
No, you're not lying.
They had a 25-foot extension cord that went from his side of the suite that had electricity over to the other side, and that's where we plugged in the TV.
Oh God! I think it takes a certain amount of balls for them to say a suite at the Super 8. It's just to say
Absolutely.
that it takes a huge set.
Matt, I kept telling Rich I'm in a suite, and he thought I was joking. And then he came into my room, sans pants. He's like, "Wow, you really do have a suite."
Sans pants.
Yeah. Well, I've taken care of you, though. That one at the Holiday Inn up in Albany, we lived the big life, right?
Yeah, that was good.
In Snoop Dogg's room, we stayed in the. They built a whole section on this hotel, and the first person to stay in this, I don't even know what you call it. It was way bigger than a suite. It was like a small apartment. Was Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Really?
Yeah.
Right?
How'd you know? Weed smell and dead hookers?
Yeah, basically.
I'm not making this up. This is the truth. They said that when they went up there, they found chicken wings in the bed.
They said that
is not me being racist. That is me being literal.
Yeah, and they said that they charge $500 if you're going to smoke in the room. Mm-hmm. They charge. What was it? $250? Whatever it was. He said he wrote him out a check.
Up front.
He wrote him out a check right up front for like $8,000 because he said they'll be smoking in this room.
Yeah, he had taken like 2 floors of rooms, and they said it's $250 a night if we find out anybody's been smoking. So he just multiplied the rooms and wrote them a check.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, I guess you can, and that's probably a little bonus for the illegal smells generating from the 2 floors.
Well, that happened when Snoop Dogg was there, and it happened when Joseph Gay was there.
Why does he keep using your middle initial?
It's not even his.
It's not my middle initial either, and I don't know why Rich has to constantly talk about the fact that I smoke herb. Rich, let's point out something. I don't smoke pot. I smoke pot, but I don't drink alcohol. Where you, on the other hand, I've ended up in some tragic bars in Kingston with you at 3 a.m. so that you can try to separate some wildebeest from the pack.
You got a lot of nerve. After
get her away from the swarm of bees, if you will.
Hey, here's the best one. We're all sitting around. Who was on that show with us? It was Mad Dog, right? We're up in.
All I can remember is the horror of those cross-eyed, unfortunate women who slow down long enough to hear your rap.
We're all sitting around wondering, are we gonna pick up girls after the show? I walk into the room with a girl. Joey gives me that look like, yeah, home run. I see this. See, this is the thing. Joey doesn't see what I see. The situation is going to go south quick with this girl because she walks in. The first words out of her mouth is, "We gonna party?" You can tell. She can tell she just did a little too much meth that night. She's like this Irish girl who's beat red from the drinking and drugs that she's done. And I went, now come on, I'm bringing you back downstairs. And Joey Gay is going, "What are you, homosexual?"
Wait a minute. Now I know who we're talking about.
Right.
You're out of your mind.
No, you're out of your mind, my friend.
Let me tell you something. That girl was good looking, and she was a lunatic. And she came in immediately. She was with you, and then she ran across the room. She's like, "Hi, who are you?" She shook my hand. You're like, "That's it. I'll be right back." And I was like, "Get the rest of the girls." Now let's keep in mind, in a metropolitan area like Kingston, New York.
Did we just lose him?
You're listening to the Comedy Point with Soul Joe on WIFI 1460 AM Florence.
Thank you. My new best friend technician just hung up while Joseph Gay was trying to proliferate a lie.